Hey guys, what's up? This is Dingo Crikey here with another commentary video. This time I'm going to be discussing a topic relating to the upcoming Transformers cartoon, Transformers Robots in Disguise. If you guys are interested in more news and commentary on Robots in Disguise, the Transformers 4 Age of Extinction toy line, or Transformers 5, then please check out my playlist and channel where I also have over 20 Transformers stop motion videos, some of which are previewed here. But anyways, this time I wanted to do a video giving my thoughts on the recently released images of the Warrior class figures from Transformers Robots in Disguise. Now I just specified Warrior class figures because despite the fact that there have been some other figures revealed such as Legends class figures and One-Step Changers, I'm only really interested in the Warrior class figures, and I would assume most people viewing this probably are. But if you are interested in seeing those other figures, go to the description below, and there should be a link to a page on Transformers World 2005, which will show all of the figures that have been revealed for Transformers Robots in Disguise, and of course including those ones that are going to be discussed in this video. So we've known about the upcoming Transformers Robots in Disguise cartoon for a little while now. Now there's been some complications with it switching over from Hub to Cartoon Network and all that kind of stuff. We've also been able to get an idea of what kind of show it's going to be like. It seems like it's going to be more kid-oriented than shows like Transformers Prime. So I think we're expecting something that reflects that within the toy line. I think that notion can be further backed up by the fact that we've seen Hasbro's been breaking up the Transformer toy line into two separate general areas, the Transformers Robots in Disguise figures and the Transformers Generation figures. You know, we have Age of Extinction figures being broken into that category as well, so it seems like it's something that's going to span Transformer toys in general, so maybe that was sort of in preparation for this new cartoon. So with that in mind, and the fact that a lot of the new Transformer figures haven't been treated positively by fans. You know, the Generation line still seems to be treated positively, but even the Generation figures within the Age of Extinction line have received a lot of flack. You know, a lot of people have been wondering what these Robots in Disguise toys are going to be like, and have been very skeptical about them. So, let's take a look at the images and get started. So first up of this Warrior class, which I guess is going to be the equivalent of the Deluxe class, is Bumblebee. So taking a look at him, I would say he does look pretty standard for a Deluxe class. If I was just to look at Bumblebee, I wouldn't see like huge differences in this line from previous Transformers lines. But there are a few notable ones. For one thing, the lack of detail from lines like Transformers Animated, and I guess a little bit in Transformers Prime, is definitely present. You know, his shoulders are smoother, his overall torso assembles cartoony looking, as with some of the other details, so it has more of those features of the Transformers Animated line, as the show seems to be kind of going in that type of direction. He also seems to be significantly more blocky than previous Bumblebee figures we've had, such as the Age of Extinction Bumblebee toy, the first edition Prime Bumblebee figure, and the movie Bumblebee toys. You know, he's more blocky like the animated Bumblebee. Even with that, I don't think this figure looks so bad. I mean, I do think there are some cons to it, such as the upper part of the car sticking out of the back of his leg. It looks like that would prohibit some articulation, but you know, other than that, this toy doesn't really look that bad. I mean, if you're going to compare it to his show counterpart as well, he looks pretty accurate, but as with Transformers Animated, the toys have to have some extra kibble, because while the show can get away with, you know, them not really looking like they can actually transform from one mode to the other. You know, toys can't do that. Anyways, yeah, I don't see a whole lot wrong with this figure, but there's one more thing I gotta mention, is the fact that he's holding a sword. That's kind of weird. You know, it doesn't look that bad, but all the clips we've seen of him in the show so far show him holding like a small pistol weapon, like Strong Arm also has. So, yeah, that's just kind of weird. Hasbro seems to like doing this from time to time, especially since the Transformers Animated line. Like, we had Ratchet, who had those weapons that he never even had in the show. Or Bumblebee from the animated line also had some kind of different weapon in the figure than he actually had in the show. But, you know, maybe he will actually use the sword. That would be pretty cool. Maybe it would kind of homage how he used the Star Saber in Transformers Prime. But, anyways, yeah, overall, he doesn't look so bad. Then in car mode, it doesn't look horrible, but I don't think it looks great either. I mean, it does look pretty show accurate from what we've seen. I'm not really crazy about how square and rigid it looks. It's just a little bit weird looking. But still not that bad, all things considered. Kind of wish they would have used some different paint on the wheels from the tires, but, that's kind of nitpicking. I do like how they made the windshields, instead of being a purely clear plastic or just opaque, they actually made them more of that cloudy look, and that is pretty nice. So overall, in robot and car mode, I think Bumblebee looks like a pretty good figure, all things considered. Next, we move on to Warrior Class Grimlock. Up until this figure was revealed, along with some clips from Robots in Disguise, I actually didn't know Grimlock was going to appear in the show. But as I said in some previous videos, it would kind of make sense that they'd want to use his character since he was a hit in Age of Extinction, so even though he looks a lot different here, he looks more like his G1 counterpart. So looking at the figure, there are notable similarities to Grimlock's traditional design, the tail and the legs, the way the arms are shaped, the overall body type. It looks pretty similar in those aspects. But there are notable differences, such as the face being the major one, and then the color scheme. But with the advent of Grimlock appearing in the films, I think we can start to expect his color scheme to vary more in newer renditions of his character. Anyways, altogether, I'm not really liking the looks of this figure. I can't put a finger on all the reasons, but I would just say he's really, really blocky looking and in a bad way. I mean, I'm just not liking the looks of him. The way his legs look like they're constructed, they look really stout. Looks like he can't sit also with the way they're made. And the way the T-Rex feet look around his robot mode hands just looks really, really bad to me. I mean, you can see the hollow space there where his hand would flip in alternate mode, That's being a little nitpicky, but it still does detract. And the claws on the arms aren't colored at all. I mean, it's just like a big green piece of plastic. Altogether, he looks like he's lacking in a good amount of paint apps. I mean, not the worst we've seen. The head sculpt, yeah, it's okay. And I guess black, green, and orange are a pretty cool color scheme, but yeah, I'm just really not liking the looks of this guy in robot mode. Not terrible, but he's nothing great. And then in T-Rex mode, man, this is probably my least favorite T-Rex mode Grimlock has ever had, at least as far as I can remember. I mean, Grimlock has had some pretty bad figures, but yeah, this just looks really bad. For one thing, I don't like the 3 fingers and the thumb on the arms. That's a little weird. It makes his T-Rex hands look too humanoid, along with the whole shape of the arm. It's just weird. It's too cartoony looking. I know the show is going to be more cartoony, but that's just over the top, and it just doesn't blend well with a T-Rex. It looks really weird. His hips are pretty big, and then his legs are short. That's also weird. I don't know how to describe this guy. He looks a little bit more like a distorted mechanical Barney than like a T-Rex, or like some weird rendition of Godzilla, only not cool. Yeah, I mean, the head sculpt is pretty cool, I'll give it that. I do like the head design, and the color scheme works pretty well in this mode, but yeah, it's just really not looking that good to me. Next, we have Warrior Class Optimus Prime. I don't think this figure looks necessarily as bad as Grimlock, but I think it has a lot going against it. Basically, it looks like a figure that should have been Voyager Class, but was shrunk down into Deluxe Class. Mainly in regards to his body. Like, his legs are huge looking, and his body's just really, really tiny looking, and then his head's stuck down like that. I mean, maybe that's just a mistransformation, but that doesn't look that good. Yeah, just the way his shoulders and stuff look too. They look like they should have more bulk to him, and they just look really scrawny along with his upper body. It's just weird looking, especially with how he ended off in Prime. He was a big guy at the end of Prime, so that's kind of weird. But overall, I don't think he looks like a horrible figure, at least not in this mode. He looks pretty good, but like I said, he just looks condensed. He looks like there should be more to him. The axe, though, is really cool looking. I'll give it that. I like a lot of the details there, and the overall shape, the color scheme there. So in this mode, he's okay. So in vehicle mode, I would basically have the same things I had to say in regard to his size, only times 10. I mean, he just looks way, way too small to be a trailer truck. Yeah, and it just looks awkward. His feet sticking out of the back, and the whole design, the way he's shaped. I'm just not liking the looks of his vehicle mode at all. Robot mode's okay, might pick it up for that. But this vehicle mode really doesn't look that good. Color scheme looks okay, but overall, no, it looks pretty bad. Next, we have, of course, another Warrior class figure, and that is a character that I believe is called Steeljaw. Now, I'm not going to show the images of him in this video because they're not official Hasbro images. I believe they were taken at a convention, so I don't want to be mucked with copyright issues or something like that. If you guys want to see the images while I'm talking about them, just pause the video and click the link in the description below. Anyways, it's cool to see a Decepticon. I mean, we didn't have many of them in Age of Extinction, so it's nice to have a Deluxe Class Decepticon figure. And this guy looks cool, all things considered. I mean, I like the color scheme. It's light blue, gray, and black, but I think it looks really nice on the mold. This one doesn't look quite as blocky as some of the other figures. As you can see, he's pretty skinny in the arms. His chest gets a little bit bigger, but that does look pretty cool. His legs, a little blocky, but I think it works well for the figure, and it looks like he might have a tail back there. That would be pretty cool if he did. One of the main things I like on this toy is the head sculpt, though. I think the wolf head actually works really, really well for this figure. If someone was to mention that idea to me, I might not like it, but, I think it looks pretty cool on this guy. I like how he has the Wolverine claws on his left hand. That's pretty cool, and, that spiky look is kind of carried on with his shoulders and that thing that kind of looks like a tail in the back. So let's take a look at him in car mode. Car mode, nothing too unique. Looks kind of, blocky and kitty, but pretty cool looking. It's a different type of vehicle, but I like how it's a little bit more rounded than Bumblebee's is without being like too round. I think it has a pretty nice balance of features. Yeah, it looks pretty cool overall. And finally, we end with Warrior Class Strong Arm. So if I had to rank Strong Arm, I would probably put her above Optimus, but below Steeljaw and Bumblebee. She doesn't look great, but also she doesn't look like a horrible figure. But overall, does look pretty blocky. I mean, her legs really remind me of like Energon Hotshot or even Energon Ironhide. They're just huge looking in the lower half, along with a lot of her back kibble. That's really big. Even the way the arms are constructed, they look very rectangular and blocky. But overall, the arms and shoulders look okay. I do think the legs are way too blocky looking. The overall body structure and stuff, yeah, it looks pretty cool. I just don't like all that back kibble. At least it looks like she'll have lots of back kibble. The head sculpt's okay. The gun, it looks pretty cool up to the tip of the gun. I don't know if they're trying to add an explosion at the end of the gun, but if that's what they're going for, I really don't like that, and I would like to think that it's a missile that you can take out. I will say I do really like the color scheme overall. I think it looks pretty cool, especially on a mold like this. So, yeah, I think this figure looks pretty cool overall. And in vehicle mode, I don't think this was done as good as it could have been done. One of the things is, and you'd have to look really closely to notice this, but it's the way she looks painted in vehicle mode just looks kind of weird to me. And I think you can notice some of the same things on Bumblebee, and especially with this figure on the windows of the car. And I really don't like how they're opaque. I gotta mention that as well. But, yeah, it looks like really blotchy looking, and that's nasty, especially for an official Hasbro picture. So if that's going to be the way the toy is, that would really suck. But overall, like the front of the vehicle looks nice. I do like that more compact build for a vehicle. So it does look pretty cool, but I just think it could have been done better in some areas. Mainly the windows, the lights on top, and then also, the colors look pretty bland in this mode. I think they work good for the robot mode, but they look pretty bland in vehicle mode. But I think Strong Arm looks like a decent figure, and that's what I'd have to say about what we can see of the line in general. When I initially seen the images, I really didn't like them, but it's been a week or so now, so I've had some time to look at them a little bit longer, get my thoughts together, and I do kind of like them, but I just think they look too blocky, kitty, and simplistic. I think that's where most of the problems are coming from. Still, they don't look horrible. I would just put them in the decent category. Like, I probably will buy some, but I don't plan on buying all of these guys, especially with the Generations line still running, possibly the Age of Extinction line still going while they're releasing these figures. And for anyone who knows Bionicle, I'm a big fan of that, and I'm really excited about that returning in 2015, so I'm going to be dishing out some money on those new guys, because some of them look pretty cool. So, I don't know how much money I'm going to have for the Robots in Disguise line, and is it really something I'd want to spend money on? I mean, like I said, they look okay. They don't look great, and they definitely don't look horrible in my opinion. Just okay, so you guys can leave your thoughts in the comment section below. I know there are going to be some pretty strong opinions about these figures. I already know there are some people who are probably really going to hate all of these guys. And I wouldn't totally blame them. I think there are some legitimate reasons, especially if you're a bigger fan of the more complex Transformer figures and you're just really disappointed with them. But, I'm sure there's some people who are going to like them and accept them. They do seem more kid-oriented, so they'll probably appeal to a lot of the younger fans. I don't want to say all of them, because I have gotten comments from people saying they're younger Transformer fans and they prefer a lot of the complex Transformer toys and the complex storylines, so that's really cool to hear. But if you guys really do love these figures, or you really hate them, or you kind of have an opinion like me, sort of a meh feeling towards them, then leave it in the comments section below. Drop off any topic suggestions as well pertaining to Transformers Robots in Disguise, Transformers 5, general Transformers discussion topics, etc. As I said, I do look at the topic suggestions. I've gotten a lot of good ones lately, and I do plan on doing some of them, so I appreciate them. Thanks a lot, guys. And that's all I have to say for this one. If some of you guys are newer to the channel, you can go back and check out some of my previous Transformers commentary videos, along with my Transformers stop motion videos. As I said, I have 20 of them on my channel, so there's lots of cool stuff to check out there. Anyways, that's it for this video. Stay tuned, and have a good one, guys.